So here's Anne Seymour, who runs FYI Talgarth, chatting about how she set up her community. At the end of the chat, there'll be questions for you to answer and hopefully get some ideas for your community. So you run FYI Talgarth. When you were setting it up, how did you go about it? What did you do?
Obviously, we had the website built by yourselves and then set up a Facebook page to go with it. I designed a logo, looked at the sister site in Brecon and tried to keep in feeling and thinking with that, but also just looking at some of the other local logos. So they had a bit of a brand going about it. And then it was just a case of going around really and talking to people and explaining to them what we were aiming to do and what the benefits were to the community. So the fact that there was no costs attached to it at all. And also talking to the town council, getting to know them really. People viewed it a little bit with, a little bit of caution, so to speak.
Yeah. Were they a bit suspicious of it? Or?
They were, I think, because it was free.
Yeah.
Obviously, people are used to other websites and Facebook pages where any sort of advertising has got costs attached to it, and they couldn't quite understand what the free bit was about. But it was a slow burn to start off with.
Yeah. Was there any sort of particular sign that made you think, oh, yeah, I'm getting somewhere now?
I think one of the big turning points was when I covered the local, the things that were going on with the Mid Wales Hospital, where it's obviously a derelict asylum. Nearly everyone in Talgarth had a connection with it. Either they had family working there or even people in there from their family. So it's a very poignant place in the community. And we had a petitions committee come up from the Assembly to have a tour with the current owner, and I asked if I could go as the community website to cover the meeting. And I think that was a big turning point then, was actually finding a local issue that people could relate to and then actually putting that story out on FYI.
Excellent. And you are a very talented photographer and photojournalist.
Thank you.
Do you think that has helped?
It definitely helped, because I could work independently. I could react very quickly to things. I didn't have to find somebody else to go and take photos, and I was there and I could interchange it. And also catching the meetings, not only in the written word, but also with pictures, appealed to a lot of people that weren't so much into reading big articles. So a visual story always helps as regard just the written side of it.
Yeah, that's great. What are the sort of biggest challenges you've had to overcome with it?
I think some of the biggest challenges sometimes were not getting sucked into doing everything. So I think being a little bit selective over what you choose to do, because you could find yourself being asked to go and look at the village hall bunny competition or something like that, or the town festival, and you can, if you're not careful, get sucked into trying to cover everything, which means that you don't become really effective. So it's choosing what you are covering, and also the other main thing was encouraging other people to become users themselves, and that was the key thing, was showing people how to do it and how they could put up content themselves, and that it wasn't rocket science, and actually going along and showing shopkeepers how they could do an advert. And that was one of the big things.
It's very informal sort of training, really, isn't it?
It's not something that you need a degree to do, and with a little bit of help and a little bit of coaxing along, I found that I've got businesses that have been with us now 6 years who are uploading stuff every week and really use it. So that's really ideal.
That's fantastic. I know you are in a small community with very high engagement, which is fantastic. Has it sort of made a difference to your relationship with the town, and you think some of the people's relationship to you?
I think so. Well, they all call me FYI Anne, so
yes,
it has. Because they know I will cover it, and one of the things I do always try to do is remain neutral over whatever I'm covering, even if it's just judging the local show or something, or whether we're covering anything political, as we are recently with the elections. But it's remaining neutral in those things so that you're always approachable by everybody. And I think that is the thing. For ages I used to have FYI posters in my front window, but now I don't need to. They just bang on the door.
Odd story. Brilliant. Thank you. So here are some questions that you may like to answer about Anne's case history. How did Anne start her community? What was Anne's big turning point? What was her biggest challenge? What does Anne do to stay approachable? Most importantly, what can you do using learning from Anne's approach? And I'd love to hear about this in the course Q&A if you'd like to tell me. That would be great, thanks.